in the seedy underworld of dangerous video.
Knight Rider, a shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who does not exist. Michael Knight, a young loner on a crusade to champion the cause of the innocent, the helpless, the powerless, in a world of criminals who operate above the law.
Okay, so this is Knight Rider, published by Acclaim in 1989. There's two modes, Mission and Drive, and we're going to do Mission for right now. We'll talk about Drive mode a little bit later on. And here, Devin kind of sounds like he swallowed a typewriter, but he's letting you know that some terrorists have captured a PIV bomb and are planning on using it. Now this screen here is crucial because this is where you select between power-ups like gas, shield, engine, missile, and lasers, which is important to beating the game. So the game starts up, as you can see, and is pretty true to form for the interior of KITT. You have the cockpit with a large number of functions that you'll see in front of you, showing your weapon indicator, your speed, score, time limit, shield, gas, and your progress meter. And even the little thing in the middle where KITT talks, as well as the wah-wah sound effect light up at the top. Now, throughout each level, there'll be red cars you'll see that'll want to shoot, but you'll also see these yellow cars occasionally, and if you shoot them, you get power-ups like lasers, shields, missiles, and gas. Also, the Knight Industries van will appear every so often and also give you a power-up, usually right before a boss battle. You can also use the turbo boost, which is really cool. Now, there are two ways your game can come to an end in Knight Rider. The first is if you run out of time and don't make it to the objective in time. Secondly, if your shield runs out, either in a boss battle or just against other enemies, it's game over. Now, the objective of the game is to safely guide Michael and KITT through all 15 cities in Canada and North America and get them to the end of each level, all while avoiding or shooting enemy cars and blue cars that if you shoot the blue cars, which are supposed to be safe, innocent citizens, will take 5 seconds off of your time. What I really love is each city's different, from the ominous red sky of New York and the Twin Towers, to the beautiful, serene backdrop of Chicago and the Sears Tower, or whatever they happen to be calling it these days. You pass through St. Louis and see the famous arch with a beautiful, cloudy sky in the background. And even Washington, D.C. Watch out, you crazy D.C. drivers! With the Washington Monument and the Capitol building in the background. Las Vegas with the neon lights and the Strip coming closer to you as you're speeding down the freeway, all while some good music plays throughout your entire journey. Now, at the end of each level, you'll fight either a semi-trailer or a helicopter. The helicopters can be especially tricky because you have to use the turbo boost and fire your weapon at the same time. Now, after you either beat or outlast the boss, you'll see the goal with KITT speeding off in the distance. Now, after you've successfully gotten through all 15 different cities, you'll get a distress call from Devin letting you know that he's been captured by KITT's evil brother, Carr, and he's in Los Angeles. Bonnie lends a helping hand by maxing out all of KITT's weapons and shields before you go fight Car, but she's still nagging you. Leave me alone! Now Michael and KITT have to travel through downtown Los Angeles to find where KITT's evil twin brother Car is holding Devin hostage. Los Angeles is pretty much your run-of-the-mill stage that you played throughout the rest of the game, except with a few more helicopters and enemy cars littered throughout the game to make the level a little bit more difficult. You'll fight 2 end bosses at the end of the stage, Goliath and a helicopter. Both of those are pretty difficult and have higher armor than ones you've seen previously. Until finally, you come face to face with Car, KITT's evil twin. Now Car is exactly like KITT in every single way, from weapons to armor and shields, and he's a really tough final boss to have to face. He moves around all over the screen, and his bombs do a hefty amount of damage, so you can run out of weapons really quickly. But if you just watch his patterns and stay with him, eventually you'll get the better of him. Now with Car finally destroyed once and for all, Michael and KITT can ride off into the sunset. There's not really much to the ending of the game. It's just Devin, Bonnie, Michael, and KITT taking jabs at each other in an 80s sitcom kind of way. Now let's take a look at Knight Rider's other mode, Drive Mode. Now Drive Mode's pretty much exactly what it sounds like, except for one stipulation. You have to drive through the cities in the order that the game's played. You can't choose them. Now, Bonnie has you all powered up as far as gas, shield, and engine goes, but you won't need your weapons, because you're just driving through each level. There's no enemies that you have to fight, or bosses that are waiting for you at the end of each level. All you have to do is avoid the blue cars and just make it to the end of the level in time. Occasionally, you'll still see the same yellow cars that you came across in the game that give you time bonuses to help you through the end of the level. So after playing through Knight Rider, what do you think? Is it the giant bomb that everybody said that it was? Is it really that terrible of a game? Honestly, I don't think so. I don't think this was just some cheesy cash-in on a TV sitcom's popularity in the mid-80s. I think it's overall a well-constructed game. Granted, the music isn't Knight Rider as we know it from the show, but it still has that same feel to it. All the levels are there, the cockpit layout puts you right in KITT's driver's seat, the enemies, Devin, Bonnie, Michael, and KITT, even Car, all the different cities with the different backgrounds. I think that this is a very, very good game and well put together.